Financial abuse is a tactic that a lot of money abusers use to, gain control and manipulate people. And this often occurs in, many instances. This can occur in, intimate relationships. It can occur in, family, parent-child relationships. It can occur in friendships. It could even occur on your job. Okay? Anywhere or any place that somebody's being used, or again, their kindness is taken for weakness, is basically a form of financial abuse. If this is the first time you're joining me, my name is Mel. This is Team U Finance, where we talk about, leveling up. We talk about self-motivation, and we also talk about, financial gain, improvement. So let's get into it. So financial abuse is a topic that a lot of people don't really, I'm not going to say they don't address it, but it's not something that is readily placed on the table. A lot of people tend to blame others or blame situations where, they've been abused financially because they really don't know that they're being abused financially. So I'm going to talk about, a few instances or a few cases where financial abuse takes place today. So the first one that I'm going to address is, of course, the intimate relationships, whether it could be your spouse, your significant other. And this is where, you and the person are in a relationship or a marriage or what have you, and money is being used to abuse you. And, a lot of people say that abuse, or a lot of people think that abuse is just something physical. And you might say to yourself, how can you abuse somebody with money, or how can money abuse you? Oh, it can happen. And how does the abuse start? Well, the abuse starts, again, when you're in that relationship and you think you have a partner, and you and the partner are supposed to be building together, but yet it's like you're not seeing the dollars coming into the relationship or into the home fairly. Money's being allocated somewhere else, or money's being squandered. Or before they give you money, it becomes, it becomes a fight, or something terrible is happening because they have a lot of more money than you, or because you're supposed to bring their part, they abuse it. And when they start to abuse you, whether, be it emotionally or even, God forbid, sometimes physical because of money, that is a way for them to distract, to basically not bring the money into the relationship or the home. And it occurs with people all the time. And hence, a lot of people, or a lot of couples, fight over money, right? The abuser basically uses money to manipulate the relationship. In other words, you're at their mercy for them to contribute or for them to give you anything. That is one form of financial abuse, okay? Please comment, like, subscribe, and share if this information is relevant, or, you can benefit from it. Again, this is Team U Finance. Please subscribe. But as I was saying, with financial abuse, it's something that happens a lot of time, and people don't even know what's happening to them, or they don't address it. Another instance that financial abuse occurs is basically, in friendships. And it goes to the saying, don't take my kindness for weakness. So you and the person are friends, or you're with a group of friends, and it's always where, if you guys are going out to do something, or you're going to an activity together, you're going to hang out, and for some reason the person always finds a way to, manipulate you into paying the bill, or manipulate you into, covering their expense, and so forth. And they do it in such a subtle way that you don't even realize. Mind you, you kind of peep that it's happening, but in your mind, you're like, well, I can't really believe this because, this person's supposed to be my friend, or, we're a friend group. But again, or if they don't, expect everything to fall on you, they always want for you to pay for them. And, you dare not ask back for that money because they'll say, oh, I thought we were friends, and so forth. They realize that you're a kind person, and because they realize that you're kind, they're taking your kindness for weakness. That is a form of abuse, because you are essentially putting somebody in a position where they're being manipulated, and you're taking advantage of their kindness. Again, abuse doesn't always have to be physical. Abusers abuse in different ways. And in this case, we're talking about when people abuse people with money. And it's not a nice thing to do. Because at the end of the day, everybody needs a dollar to spend. And so if you're going to abuse me or manipulate me into wasting or using my money while you sit on yours, then again, you're not for me, you're against me. So that's how financial abuse occurs in friendships. They constantly play on your emotions. They know you're kind, and they always expect you to do financial favors for them. And what is ironic is that if the tables are turned, they would never be there for you. And because you're self-sufficient, you never ask anybody to help you financially. Or even if you do, it's only once in a while. So again, these people know that you're self-sufficient. They know you're doing well. And this is why they constantly take advantage of you. And they use the manipulation tactic to abuse your finances. Another way that financial abuse occurs, and this often happens, with the parents, with the families. And let me explain what I mean by that. As children, when we're being raised, or even if we're, teenagers, whatever, at a certain age, as we're growing and we're coming up, there's things that we need to do. Whether be, you want to attend a certain institution, you want to buy a car, whatever it is, you want to invest in something, you want to participate in an activity. And many times when we go to our parents, they don't do it. They don't give it to us. They don't help us. They'd rather sit and watch us struggle and suffer. And, when you ask them to help you, they'll say, oh, I don't have it. But it's not financial abuse because your parents didn't have it. It's financial abuse when that parent has it. And for some strange reason, they want you to struggle. They don't want to make it easy for you. Their whole take is that, well, when I was coming up, I had to struggle for everything that I have. I had to grow. Nobody gave me anything. So because nobody gave me anything, I'm going to have to let you work for everything. But my whole take on that is that if you've been blessed, if God has blessed you through your hard work to achieve, and you have your kid or your family member that's trying to level up and you're not helping them, then that's a form of abuse. It's not something nice. It's not something that, that should be done to anybody. So this is where you see the abuse in the home. So financial abusers are not only in intimate relationships with a partner. Financial abusers are, in relationships, as I said. Financial abusers are in friendships, and financial abusers are in parent and children relationships. Anybody, whether it be a friend, your significant other, your parent, that want you to struggle or make you struggle or be at their mercy, make you beg when they're in a position to help you, that's not good. That is just cruel. And so when you realize, or if you recognize that you're being financially abused, this is where leveling up or, self-motivation pushes you up to change that. You're going to break that cycle. Because remember, a lot of the people that abuse you is because they were abused. This is what they know. They were abused. They were treated bad. They didn't have any financial support of any form. And so essentially what ends up happening is that they take that out on you. But at the end of the day, this is where you're going to differentiate and you're going to move along, and you're not going to even continue with this. You're going to break the cycle. And the first way to break that cycle is literally by having a come up. How do you break the financial abuse cycle? You start doing you. I talk about doing you in so many of my videos. I say take care of you. I say level up. I tell you, I say self-care. I say do all of these things. I say get your mind right. Because that is the first part of breaking financial abuse. When your mind is right and you recognize that you were abused or you're in the journey of being financially abused, you got to break that cycle. Once you break that cycle, it's time for you to level up and get your growth. Okay? We level up. We basically, we get our jobs, we get our training. Although, we might go out there and work our 9-to-5 jobs, we still got to have faith. We still got to pray. We got to get a little bit of help. Those are the first factors in getting yourself financially fit. We have to learn to break the cycle. Not because you were financially abused, it doesn't mean that you should, continue being an abuser or let somebody keep abusing you. Break the cycle. Don't let it happen to you, or don't let it continue, or don't expand on something that was done to you that wasn't good. So that's just my take on financial abuse. Financial abuse is a real issue, and it's an issue that needs to be addressed and has not been addressed. And I just really feel really passionate about it. And I believe, even through this channel, that it is something that can be addressed and that can be challenged. In any event, as I said, this is Team U Finance. If you got this far in my video, I thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.